You're 14 when you first breathe underwater. It's a municipal pool. The instructor is bored. The gear is second-hand. The tank tastes like metal and someone else's lungs. None of that matters. What matters is the silence. 2 meters down, the world stops. No voices, no traffic, no weight to anything. You stay under until the instructor yanks the regulator out of your mouth and asks what's wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. You've just found the only place that makes sense. The ocean has flaws most people don't know exist. The sunlight zone ends at 200 meters. Below that is the twilight zone. Below that is midnight. Below midnight is the abyss. Most commercial divers never go past 50 meters. Military saturation divers work to 300. Scientific and deep intervention divers push past 500. Where you work now, 1,000 meters, that's not a depth, that's a different planet. Getting there takes years. Dive tables first. Gas physics. Partial pressure of oxygen, nitrogen narcosis, helium tremors, the bends, which isn't just pain, it's nitrogen bubbles expanding in your joints, your spine, your brain. You learn what happens when a seal fails at depth. You learn what the pressure does to an unprotected body. You don't dwell on it. Dwelling on it is how you get slow. Slow gets you killed. Saturation diving is the method. You live in a pressurized chamber on the surface ship for weeks at a time. Your body equilibrates to depth pressure, so you can work bell dives to the seafloor without the bends killing you on ascent. When the job is done, decompression takes days. 12 hours for every 100 meters. At 1,000 meters, you don't get to leave fast. The ocean owns your schedule. The SAT system is your world. 6 men in a chamber the size of a transit van. Shared bunks, shared air, the smell of 6 bodies under pressure, eating packaged food, sleeping in shifts. The atmosphere is 98% helium and 2% oxygen, which turns your voice into something that sounds like a cartoon. Nobody finds it funny after the first week. You earn this life by being useful in places where useful people die. Your first saturation dive is 180 meters, pipeline inspection on a North Sea platform. The bell locks onto the habitat. You drop. The bell touches bottom in darkness, so complete the lights feel personal. You step out onto the seafloor and your brain tries to process the scale of nothing. The supervisor's voice crackles through the comm. Get moving. You get moving. You learn the work. Hyperbaric welding on subsea pipelines. Emergency repair on wellheads losing pressure at 600 meters. Installing infrastructure no human hand has touched except yours. The work is technical, physical, and deeply strange. You're welding metal in a dry habitat clamped around a pipe, inside a pressurized sphere, at a depth that would kill you in seconds without the system. The weld has to be perfect. Imperfect welds fail. Failed welds at 800 meters mean a blowout that ends careers and sometimes people. Your supervisor is a Scotsman named Dreich, 23 years in saturation, hands like shovels, talks in single sentences that take 3 days to fully understand. He watches your work without commenting. 2 months in, he tells the dive master you can be trusted with the bell. That's the whole review. In this world, that's a standing ovation. The oil companies talk about safety. They mean it mostly. They mean it right up until the field is behind schedule and the bonus structure is quarterly. You learn to read the gap between what's said in the safety briefing and what's expected at the bottom of the dive plan. Rush dives, compressed decompression schedules, equipment that gets repaired instead of replaced because replacement takes 3 weeks and the field needs to flow. Nobody tells you to cut corners. Nobody has to. The schedule tells you. The ocean doesn't care about the schedule. The ocean runs on physics, and physics at 1,000 meters is less a law and more a verdict. There's a moment on every deep dive when the bell is halfway down and the surface feels theoretical. Not gone. Just theoretical. The comm is a thin wire of sound, connecting you to a world you can't reach in time. Your life support is a machine no one is watching in real time. The supervisor can hear you, he can advise you. He cannot reach you. If the bell floods, if the gas supply fails, if the umbilical severs, the calculation is simple and the result doesn't change. You stop thinking about this eventually. Not because it stops being true, because thinking about it uses bandwidth you need for the work. Partial attention at 1,000 meters isn't attention. It's just something to do before something goes wrong. There's a diver named Paavo. Finnish. Best hands on the bell, maybe anyone's hands. You've done 8 dives together. At 740 meters, a hydraulic line on the work-class ROV locks up and Paavo goes outside the bell to free it manually. Procedure says 2 minutes. He's out 4. Everything stays under control. He comes back in. You lock the hatch. He doesn't say anything for a long time. Then he says, "It was very dark out there." You know exactly what he means. The cold and pressure are physics. The darkness is personal. The incident that changes everything takes 4 minutes. You're at 980 meters on an emergency wellhead repair. A seal has failed. If it goes fully, the environmental and financial cost is catastrophic. The repair is procedural. You've run it in simulation 40 times. Then the torque tool jams. The stripped fitting won't seat. The supervisor is talking. The company man is talking over the supervisor. 2 voices overlapping, both urgent, neither useful. You mute the comm. You work the fitting by hand, which is not in the procedure. You feel the metal give. You reseat the seal. You restore pressure. You lock out the well. The whole thing takes 4 minutes of silence. When you open the comm, the supervisor is still talking. Later, the company man asks why you muted. You say the comm noise was interfering with your focus. He files it as a procedure deviation. Drake pulls you aside afterward. Doesn't say you were wrong, doesn't say you were right. Says, the ocean doesn't care who gave the order. You remember that. You come up after 18 days in saturation, and the sky is wrong. Too much of it. Too bright. The horizon is the right distance away, but your body doesn't believe it. Sounds are too loud. Distances are unreliable.